says orientation is locked. Rotate the device back.
We got it horizontal, but thought unless we switched it on accident.
That's why I asked you if your orientation on your phone was locked.
All right, well, we are definitely live right now, and
Yes,
it looks
you
like
are.
it's going right. So, well, no, it's not. It's going right if you go like this, but not like that. Let's see if we can figure this out. What's up, Al and Ken B? Well, that's what I thought. We might have to restart it and change our orientation as Misha starts going crazy. Katie's got it changed now, but it's going to be like this. So I guess we can start it this way. I guess we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Why not?
Looks fine. Looks good.
Yep. Alrighty, well, we'll just do it vertically. What's up, Al and Barry? Dickaw. Hello, everyone. So I apologize that I was late. I literally, my socks are still wet. What's up, Tom? And yeah, just got off the water. So I decided I would do an evening trip. When I say evening, I got there about 3:30 or so, and then fished until I wasn't sure what time it was, and then when I finally pulled my phone out and looked, it was 8:45 when I left the water. So I'm sorry that I'm running a little bit late, but we are in the Great Smoky Mountains, right outside, about a mile outside of the park right now. Misha's here with us, and Katie is driving as always, and she's trying to get the comment showing. And the river is still high, Al, and it's not clear, but it's clearing up. And Misha, you're going to have to let us be just for a little bit. Do you want to be on TV just for a minute? Just for a minute. All right.
She's on.
You're definitely. This is it. This is it. Everyone say hey to Misha, because she's just dying to be on here. I was eating some chips a few minutes ago, and she was right here in my lap. So anyway, so water's up. I went to the other side of the river, went upstream, and couldn't get back across. Then finally came back down, and I fell. And when you've got felt boots on with studs, or any boots on with or without studs, wet roots will get you every time.
Wet socks equal leaky waders.
Yep, that's true. So I busted my tail and just had a fun time fishing. I did catch fish, and I caught everything on the fly we're going to tie tonight, which is kind of cool. This fly is one we've tied before. I have never tied it live, but I was going through one of our favorite books when we're here in the park. This is the Fly Fishing Guide to Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is by Ian and Charity Rudder. It's it's a new book. It came out about a year or so ago. And it has fish in the park by seasons. It has stream locations and what to expect, different bugs, different hatches. It's got a map in here. It's got pretty much everything you need if you are fishing in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. But one of the things that caught my interest, and the main reason is some of y'all have had this requested 3 or 4 times to tie, and that's the Smoky Mountain Candy, which is right here. And we have, like I said, I've tied it, but I don't think I've ever tied it on the show. This is a pattern designed by Walter Babb. It says, way of improving upon the classic Thunderhead Dry. Yellow insects like golden stoneflies, sulfurs, little yellow stoneflies are abundant in the spring and summer when attractor dry flies are its peak effectiveness. Babb combined the classic bushy dry fly with a different color scheme to create a spectacular pattern. And
the end.
the end. Now, he has the recipe here, and he did do the grizzly and brown rooster hackle for the tail, and that's the way that I tied it, and the way I fished it today. I do feel like a moose tail is going to be a little bit better, so that's why I'm going to tie it that way tonight. What's up, Mr. Grigsby? And yeah, so Smoky Mountain Candy. Let's get to tying. The materials I'm going to use are some brown and grizzly dry fly hackle for the wing or for the hackle. I don't have calf body hair, but what I do have, so I would typically use calf body hair, but what I do have is deer belly hair, short, fine, and white. And this is some of Josh Varner's stuff. It's really good. But it makes great wings. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say it's more difficult, it's just different to work with than calf body hair. I will use some of Al Kenton's Moose Hawk. It's a pretty small piece here. I'm going to have to either slow down or get some more, but some Moose Hawk here for the tail. Or what I used the other day is brown and grizzly spade hackle that I got from Magpie Materials. And I've got to magnet them down or they'll blow away. Don't want to lose them. For the body, I'm going to use Semperfly Yellow Kapok, and I think that's about it. Thread, I think a lot of y'all saw our post the other day about doing the with the new Tiemco double arm bobbin. This is not this is not our first double arm bobbin, but when people ask which one is my favorite, I always say the Tiemco double arm bobbins is my favorite. It is expensive, it's a little pricey, but that's my favorite bobbin. And I, up until now, I've always been an 18, or when I'm using nano silk, I just use red, white or black, and then I just use a marker to color it. But I decided to do a little changeover and start using colored nano silk. So I'm going to use yellow 18-knot Semperfly nano silk for the thread. Hook, simple Tiemco 100. I would tie this maybe a 12, but definitely 14, 16, probably 18. Today, I had a 4X leader on, and I was throwing a double dry. I was just trying different things. I'd used that sulfur, a 1E done, and it got bit, but I didn't get any hookups on it. I used, I kept switching that one out left and right. But especially with those two, what's up, Jason Hall? Especially with those two bigger dries, I was twisting my leader, so I should have gone to a 3 or even a 2X. So typically with attractor flies, they're going to be bigger, they're going to be bushier, so go up on your leader for sure. All right, so Katie stepped out, but she's going to be back here in a second and zoom in. Any questions so far? I'm using the nano silk here, or the nano silk, that nano silk wax. I like it because it helps start and kind of makes the hook shank a little bit bitey, a little grippy. So anyway, we have new internet coming next Monday to our house in Kingsport, so hopefully we'll be okay next week on our won't have any internet problems. So I'm gonna start my thread right here. Oh, Misha's like, am I missing something? No, Misha, you are not. I'm missing something. That would be my scissors. And first thing I'm going to do is stack. Now this done, I'm going to stack some this deer belly hair. And I'm just going to cut off a good sized chunk because it does kind of compact. And another thing I wish I had was a bigger hair stacker here. But we'll just make do. So just like always, take the bundles, twist it so all that opens up. comb it out. Get as much of it out as you can. And this is the material that if you had calf body hair, you'd use that, or even calf tail, you use that. But calf body hair would probably be the most readily available. But this deer belly hair and short fine is really cool stuff. And I would show you. See, I told you I wish I had a bigger hair stacker. Oh, this is one I used yesterday, so why not use it today? This is just a touch bigger. Son of a gun. I was wondering if that wasn't stacking, because it stacked okay the other day, because I wasn't using the right hair stacker. Just trying to see how much of a mess I can make. Get it all in there. Now it's going in there. I guess I do wish I had a bigger stacker here. I brought 78 tools with me. I knew if I knew whatever tool I really needed, I would not have. This is the new flash up there, the Appalachian up, the one up in which one are you talking about? The tailwater flash up our way? That's the tailwaters. Sorry, I just noticed people were commenting. I wasn't paying attention. Yes, we are live right now, Magpie. What's up, Michael Terry? Miriam, hello. And Justin Crabtree, think about his dry fly situation, but think about John Wolf hand tying dries that were larger than we would normally use. I don't know everything now. Yep, that's true. Well, I just got off the water, and that's why I'm running late. One in Elizabethton is what is the name? That one's Hellbenders, I think. I've never been to that one. So I want this to be roughly the same length as the shank. Shank plus the eye. That's what I'm going for. So get a nice little band there, make it nice and tight. I probably won't get it all in one cut, but we'll go for it. Cut that off. So I caught browns and rainbows, if that gives you any hint of where I was fishing in the park today.
Not much. Just a little bit.
And, yep.
Magpie says, how dare you go fishing?
I know.
The nerve of this guy.
I'm just kind of buckling all that down. Make sure it's somewhat good. Somewhat. Darn bundle slid back, so I'm just going to slide it back forward. Just like this. Because I just need to have enough room here for a wrap or two. Did y'all hear Katie? Thank you, Katie. So I'm just pulling my bundle back. Now we should be a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. That dog. All right. Thank you for teaching me something, sir. Even alternate material. This is my favorite bobbin, Jason. This double arm, Timco double arm bobbin. I love it. This is my third one. It's at least my third one, maybe fourth one. I've got the midge one, and most people would probably say, shouldn't you get you're doing that 18-aught, don't you think you should have the midge size bobbin? And normally they would say that's correct, but the midge is so small, and the only difference is the tube is smaller, and that makes it harder for me to thread it. I don't know. Yeah, I can't thread it as easy. And when it's kind of nice when I'm using it, but there's no fly that's too small that I can't do with the standard one. But here's your standard TMCO bobbin. It's a good one. Um, but another big thing is I can unscrew this and I can like adjust the length of my tube as well, just like that. See, it's long, short. So that's kind of nice depending on what kind of fly you're tying. So I did. Can't wait to watch this with. I have no time. Thanks again for. You're welcome. Yeah. So I put one wrap around the base of it just to kind of keep it from spreading out too much. I'm using my fingernail and spread it apart, so I can get two little clumps here to try to get them roughly the same size. Ouch. And I'll tell you one thing. Scott Stisher told me this the other day, whereas when I was in Colorado, and he's absolutely right. Fishing is bad for fly tying because it tears up your hands. Floating, all that stuff, not just being out, tears up your hands, makes them kind of picky. So, all right, I put 2 wraps one way, or sorry, 3 wraps one way, then did 3 wraps the other way. So I've kind of got a figure 8 or an X right there in the middle to keep those separated. Now I'm going to flatten my thread, and I'm going to post these up just a little bit. So I'm sorry you should be able to see the next one a little bit better. And this is not going to be super tight, but this is going to kind of gather this wing just a little bit. Bring it down. See how I've got that posted there? Double lotion right. Yep. That's right. Katie will hook me up here in just a little bit. Good thing is well, I don't have service one out there. The good thing is Katie didn't get too worried because I told her I was planning on fishing for the Yellow Sallies. And the night before they came off later, but I just didn't realize how late it was. Okay, so my one wing's a little bit bigger than the other, but we'll call it good. So I'm gonna tie the tail in now. We use this moose hawk. But if you remember the last show, I think it was the last show where we did Charlie Craven's Timmy. Last 4 of he day is the best. Last hour of the day. Last hour. So when I did the Timmy, I did this where I got a chunk of the moose hawk. I stacked it, and then I kind of put a whip finish here and put some UV resin. That way it kind of holds it all together. So I'm just going to do, as opposed to pulling off a handful, we got 1, 2, 3, 6. Let's go 8. Let's go however many this is. Yeah. So I can just pull these off, get them lined up, cut them, and now I've got my little stack all done. See, don't have to stack them. I wrap a piece of Scotch around the base. Don't know. Right. So we're going to tie this in on top of the hook shank. Let's see, I think that is way too long. That's what I was thinking. Because I just kind of stuck it in there without measuring. So let's bring our thread back to the back and do it where we're supposed to do it. So I want my, golly, this, put this here. I'm going for the tail to be basically maybe a touch shorter than the whole hook shank, or than the whole hook, excuse me. Yeah, that looks about right. How do you like the copter, Jason? Keeps them tight and even. really know, but I want to get one of those bobbins soon. Well, there's a single arm one that's nice, and I think it's roughly, I could be wrong, but I think it's about half the price, and it's good. It just, you can't adjust the tube like I just showed you, but I've got a couple of those, and they're nice. All right, so see, we've got our tail tied in. And Katie is back. When I flew in, kept getting shot. All right, so now we're going to put some dubbing on. And I can't remember what the official recipe was. What it calls for. I think I was at Smoky Mountain Angler a few years ago, and they're like, "Oh, here's the real stuff." I'm like, "Oh, well, I got to get some of that." I can't remember what it was. Something like, it's not just like normal dubbing, but this as far as being effective, this stuff worked today. Just saying. So I'm just going to tear off little pinches and dub this on. Katie, will you tell me if I'm missing something? I forgot to look at the comments for a few minutes. I was like, oh.
Gary's on. Is on.
Oh, Gary found us. Cool. Sorry, we're...
Bill Brashears is on.
Oh, Bill came on too. Great. Well, we, for those of you that are late getting on, I was later. Well, I guess I'm not later than you all. But again, you all might have come on first thing and noticed we were not on.
Pale Yellow Rabbit and Whitlock Golden Stone, says Al.
Okay, Katie. Thank you, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So I'm just trying to fill this all in, and we don't need a whole lot of space since we're doing the two hackles. Don't need a whole lot of space for hackle. This isn't a tractor, so it is going to be bushy like that. That should be fine. Wish I could see how it looks. Truman, hey Gary, Dirty Yellow, Truman, Rabbit, hey Gary and Truman, hey Bill, Pelly, yep. Tell you what size. This is a size 14. But for tomorrow, just based on what was out there today, and this is the one I posted today, today was that fly was the one I fished all day today from 3 till 8:45 or so, and that I was fishing that with another dry fly, so just like a double dry, and that's all I caught the fish on was this pattern. So whatever that's worth. But looking at the naturals are out, I almost wish I had a 16, but the 14s were working. The 14 was working. So I'm just prepping my hackle here. Like I said, I've got brown and grizzly. I'm just trying to get them lined up. I want to say lined up. I just want to make sure that they're good. It's kind of difficult tying right now because I'm not used to the setup here and the lighting as opposed to normally at home. However, the internet hadn't crashed once and we're in the woods. Shows you something about being there. All right. Let's make sure that's good and tied down. Let's see. Oh. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just making sure that the underside, the bottom of the hook shank here is nice and smooth. There's no big divots or anything. It can be higher here and lower here, and that's fine. But as far as how it rides and how it's going to look on the bottom, because that's obviously what's going to touch the water, I want that to be kind of as smooth as possible on the bottom. So we'll pull this straight up, bring this down, and before I get too crazy, I'm going to pull my wings forward just a bit. So that's 2 wraps. Well, maybe. Let's see if we can get a third one in there. Yeah. So right now that's 2 wraps. I'm going to pull everything back. 1. And that's enough. So take my thread, let's undo that just a bit. Put 3 wraps in there. Now this 18-aught, you want to, the good thing is I could probably put 20 wraps in here and you wouldn't really see it, but you don't want to just try to lock something in like it's normal 12-aught classic wax thread, because it is slick, and you want to just give yourself a little extra security. Oh, Marcus is on here. You got any onions on that burger tonight? No onions. Marcus is at the Gulf Shore show with us and had a really good time, and we all went out to dinner, and he ordered a hamburger or a cheeseburger, and that was, I think, the only topping he said he wanted was cheese on his cheeseburger, and he got a darn hamburger that had more onions you've ever seen.
Red onions, just the whole thing cut up and just thrown on top.
Truman was there. Chris was there. We were all like just astounded. All right, so untwisting my bobbin here. This one fiber's gonna drive me nuts. So I'll try to get it off as long as I don't cut my thread. All right. He ate an entire onion. Yep, everyone's just giving him a hard time, and he just look at you and he'd pull up an onion. And I think he probably likes onions like I like onions. But I mean, that was a little outrageous. He just look at Steve Maldonado and eat a big chunk of onion raw. It's pretty funny. All right, so that's our a little bit bushy back here, but that was that first wrap where I wrapped it on top, so I can be fancy and pluck a couple of them out, so it's not too, just like that. That's pretty much it. So the way I like to finish the flies is I'll just take it and put it kind of up at a little bit of an angle there. And I take my Sally Hansen's. Ken, do you have any questions on this? Could you see okay? Could you have any questions on tying this? Because I know you're going to whip it up. You might have some. And we're going to keep going. The Umpqua Master Fly Tying Kit. We're going to give that away one of these weeks. And we're just going to draw a winner from someone who entered, which is post a picture of your fly, tag us in the photograph on Instagram, or email it to us at demuthflyfishing@gmail.com. Normally I use a piece of wire to clean up the eye, but the good thing about this applicator, on the bigger hooks anyway, I can just use that. So there you go. Thanks, Ken. So, do you want one more, or are we good? What do you think, Katie? This works good. Tied parachute also. Okay. Yeah. I mean, right. I would guess starting about 7:45 or so, maybe 7:15. I mean, there's yellow and oranges everywhere. It wasn't like a big solid like hatch that happened at once and there was going crazy, but um, um, so it was kind of sporadic, but it was pretty nice. Grew up on Norfolk and White River, which version of the sow bug pattern. I don't have my version of a sow bug pattern, Justin. Um, for every time the flies tied. Yeah, like that. This is it. Doesn't it smell? It looks better than it smells right now. Um, so we can stop this in the middle of it if y'all get bored. But I'll do one more because I'll fish it tomorrow or whenever. And if you're in the Smoky Mountain area, you want to go fishing, send me a note. Probably, I don't know if Katie will let me out of the house tomorrow since I've stayed out so late tonight, but tomorrow or Friday I might go depending on the water. And seriously, if you don't have this, just Alan Charity Rudder's book, um, our little library has got tons of books, and this Fly Fishing Guide to the Great Smoky Mountains by Ian and Charity. Did I say Alan? Ian and Charity Rudder. This is a phenomenal book. It's technical enough that every time I read it, I learn something new, but it's also basic enough that like you don't have to be an entomologist or 50 years fly tying experience. You can be going fishing for your first time, and it'll be a good book. We have UT graduation this week. We've got
High school.
Smoky Bear graduation. When's that going to be, honey?
That's on
Wednesday,
Monday.
Next Monday.
State champs. State champs.
Go football. All right. So just started that. Did not use a wax that time because I just didn't. I'm gonna get out my short fine deer belly hair in white from Josh Varner. This is a cool substitute material, but normally, like I said, I would tie this with calf body or perhaps calf tail. If you don't have calf tail, you don't have calf body, you don't have short fine deer belly hair, just use Parapost material. No big deal. Like the other guys are like the dime bag of fly tying. I'm not missing a thing. I don't know if I can. It's just like you'll be back in June, Mark. That's awesome. Let me know. Fear the creeks would have been blown.
Gary,
out.
thanks for the stickers.
Go Smoky Bears.
Really.
Yes, Gary. I sent Katie a picture of the stickers, and she said, "I think you meant to send this to someone else." And I said, "No, those are from Gary." And she said, "Oh, I get it now."
I said, oh, okay.
Whenever Katie and I see a funny bumper sticker that might be a little bit, some might say obscene, I will, we'll take a picture of it and send it to Mr. Barnes just to keep him on his toes.
Just for a laugh.
Just for a giggle or laugh. And
he does the same.
He does the same for us. So I'm shooting for my wing to be from the hook bend here to where the hook shank starts, the bend of the shank to the front of the eye. That's the wing length that I'm going for. And you can tell when I'm concentrating a lot because I quit talking. Get in there, cut that off. Oh man, I gotta. There we go. Slide it forward. I'm not worried about it spinning around the hook shank a bit because we'll fix it right here. It more than it normally does. that up. Go to the hook eye and work it back. Just going to prop it up just a bit. Now we'll go around the base. And as far as floatability, this one floated just fine. Floated really good for about 4 hours or so. You ever use synthetic wings? I do, for sure. Nothing wrong with it at all, other than some people might say that's not the original way or anything. They're definitely easier to keep floating. So I'm just doing my figure eights back and forth, 3 wraps on each side.
Is the finish wing the length of the hook shank?
Excuse me?
The finish wing, is it the length of the hook shank cast?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And really it's going to do with like your personal preference on how long you want your hackle. Because the biggest thing I think anyway is that your wing needs to be just a touch longer than your hackle is. And you know, if you happen to tie in shorter hackle, then that can be kind of hard to, your wing might be a little bit long, and vice versa. If you tied in longer hackle, then your wing might be a little short. So, I mean, you don't want that wing to be protruding too awful far. But on the other hand, you don't want it disappearing either. Just a little longer. Yep, that's, sorry, Steve. I don't know if you beat me to it or not, but the red ones go on tail lights. Oh, that's what those go on. Katie, did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
I just
understand now?
ignored it. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna grab about that many of these fibers. This is a big time saver, not having to stack, especially when we're getting 3. Oh, wants to drop it. So I'm going for just a touch shorter than the entire length of the hook. So like I typically will say, if I'm tying dries, I want the tail to be a little bit longer in the body. If I'm tying nips, I want the tail to be a little bit shorter in the body. That's probably about good. Just like that. Is Marcus still with us? All right, so we got that in. Good enough. Now you'll tie about, since you're at Gulf Shore, you should do a saltwater fly. I tied freshwater stuff at Gulf Shores, but lay it to it again. Got it. Yep, back in fly tying. Justin said I'm back in the fly tying so I can make my I can't, like, my glasses, my French Chris or FR Chris and other brothers fly friend Chris. To live off $50 a month, you can afford time. Yep. That's always good when you can help out. Sorry, Katie has her phone up for me to read the comments, which is very nice. But I can't really read them because it's just far enough away that my glasses, I can't read them. And if I take them off, it's just far enough away that I still can't read them. All right, and we'll wrap this one up here in just a minute. And if you all have, well, maybe not just a minute, but shortly. So this is pretty straightforward. Yellow dubbing, brown grizzly hackle, some sort of white wing, tail. I mean, honestly, it doesn't get much more simple than that. It's because it's not a simple fly, but it's just straightforward, I think will be the correct way to say it. Nice rapid dubbing around the tail. Yeah, I don't like that one little bit right there. Try to jam. I just had a little bit of dubbing left. I was like, well, I'll just get it on there one way or the other. Now let's get our hackle one more time. Now I did yesterday sort my hackle and have the hackle ready. So you don't have to sit here and watch me size hackle. Because as we all know, that's not a lot of fun. At least, I mean, I really enjoy sizing hackle, but watching someone size hackle is not the most fun in the world. Good grief. So because I'm going to jam a bunch of hackle in there, I do strip a little bit of the fibers off the leading edge, just a handful of fibers. And normally that keeps it from over, like spreading off the back. Sorry, this is where like I somewhat pay attention. Okay. And speaking of bobbins, I'm fine tuning this one right now, but I highly, highly, highly recommend stretching them out. You shouldn't, like right now, it's just a hair tight. See how I was pulling the, kind of bending the hook a little bit down when I pull the thread out. When it came out of the box, I wouldn't be able to do that without bending the hook. So you want to make sure that you tune the bobbin, which is basically just bending the arms, so they're so that as you're tying, your thread feeds itself out. And some spools are different than others spools. So if it's working fine, and then all of a sudden it's way too tight, it could be just a different type of spool you have in there. What are you done there? Good tip. If you don't like something, back it off and get it correct. That's right. Makes the first wrap. See, there's a big heart right over the comment. I can't see the thing. Okay.
Makes the first wrap on at a perfect angle.
Yep. Yeah, tied it in a little bit close. Thank you, Katie. I'm going to do a little bit less hackle on this one. So that's one less hackle in the back than we did before. Part that down. So if I had a little more bare stem, not stripped hackle, but like bare stem, I just tied my, it'll turn out okay. So 2 or 3 wraps to capture the hackle, and then a couple wraps in front so it doesn't undo itself. I'm going to flatten up my thread. Such a nice pattern. It is, Mark, sorry. And Mark, maybe this the 3rd time or 4th time, or maybe this time's a charm for us getting together when you come up. There we go. Never thought about putting flash over Mylar until now. Yep. That's the fun thing about tying them yourself. You can just whatever it is that you want to do it, try it. Just building up a little bit of a yellow spot here. Pull that down. See any major wonkers in there. Typically, I like to, if I can, I'll pull those out because it'll break off at the thread. Typically. Sometimes not, like that one right there. Do a couple whip finishes and then bam. This one has one less wrap of hackle in the back than the other one did. As you can see, I've got one little, there we go.
There's a new Fly Fishing Hall of Fame in Bryson City.
Ooh, sounds fancy. I'm gonna try, let's see. So remember, I don't know if I went this, but see when I go like this, you can put a bunch of head cement in there and hold up at an angle. It's going to go back into the hackle and help reinforce that. Here's my normal piece of wire. Scrap wire. Okay, cool. Hall of Fame Museum. I'll have to check that out. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for checking us out this evening. Sorry that I was late. Maybe Katie will. I'll send Katie some pictures from yesterday, and we'll share them next week. And I know we've got pictures from Bill Brashears. We got pictures from Ken B. Steve Yates, I believe, sent a picture while I was on the water today. Couple other pictures we've gotten from the Timmies from last week. So we'll share those next week. Give this a stab, give it a try, give it a spin. The Smoky Mountain Candy that we tied tonight. Tag us in the photograph on Instagram, or email them to us. Our email is demuthflyfishing@gmail.com. Check out this book if you don't have it and you're going to the Smoky Mountains. This is like, you need to have this one. This is a great guide for fishing here in the park. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. Katie, you want to say anything?
Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
See you
Have a
later,
good night.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.